we're joined now with
people.
the very latest of a press conference that's happening right now.
We have not yet identified that caller. He did not identify himself when asked. He did not remain on the phone line with the 911 caller when asked. And the call was made from a payphone in the 300 block of Columbus Avenue, which is not specifically on the campus, but not too far from it. It is closer to the Yale Medical School and Yale New Haven Hospital. So we haven't identified the caller yet. There has been no report of gunfire. There has been no reported injuries of anyone, either by shooting or any other means on the campus. The campus is locked down. I am making a presumption here that the school is out of session for the holidays, which has been quite helpful to us as we've been going quite literally school to school, concentrating right now on the old campus area, which is bordered by College Street, Chapel Street, High Street, and Elm Street. However, that is not our only area that we're searching. We have multiple SWAT teams that are out there conducting these searches, with working very much in concert with the Yale University Police Department, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Connecticut State Police. There are other law enforcement agencies that are working with these departments to investigate this case. I just don't have a full list just yet. That will update as soon as possible. And right now we are interviewing several witnesses who did report seeing someone on or near the university campus with a long gun. Long gun would be either a rifle or a shotgun, but not a handgun. All right, so those two witnesses, I believe there are two, there may be more, are being interviewed right now by detectives from both the university and city departments.
And what time frame was that in relation to the call?
I probably within the hour of the call.
Do you have a description yet of the possible suspect?
There have been a few descriptions of people seen around the campus that have been put out, but there is no description of a suspect.
We're hearing about some activity along Gateway Community College. Can you speak to that?
No, I'm right here with you, so I don't have any information about Gateway right now. I'd presume that Gateway probably would be locked down as well at this point.
Can you talk a little bit about Elm Street? One of the officers on scene told me that that is considered a hot zone right now, and that's the area that is mostly blocked off. Can you talk a little bit about what's going on
The hot
near Elm Street, near Howard?
Elm and Howard are nowhere near one another. Elm and High. Elm and High, like I said, the old campus is what we're considering the hot zone right now. That is what I gave you before. That is College Street to Chapel Street to High Street to Elm Street. So there's nothing moving in and out of that. I know the perimeter has been expanded a little bit, but more to mitigate the traffic problems that we're having. Pedestrian and vehicle traffic has been prohibited from entering anywhere into that area.
Is the suspect being described as a student?
We don't know who the suspect is right now. We don't know. We have a caller who stated that his roommate was the person coming towards campus with a gun. So we don't have a suspect description.
Did the caller indicate if he was a Yale student?
Did not.
Has anyone been
Detained as a suspect? No.
What are the challenges of doing a search like this in such a wide area? So many spots to go search. I mean,
Well, we rely heavily on what witnesses are telling us and the locations that they're giving us of what they've seen. The challenges are lessened when we're dealing with fairly empty dorm buildings and residential colleges and other buildings. If we had school in session, this would be a much more difficult thing to tackle.
There were reports of a man being held or questioned on the ground, maybe down on Elm Street. Was that connected with it?
I don't have information on specific detentions of people. I think we are certainly dealing with the probability that more people who have been stopped and questioned are being stopped and questioned as witnesses.
Is the search right now just contained to the Yale campus or other places in New Haven as well?
I haven't gotten an update from the department in the last hour or so, so far we are not searching off-campus facilities.
The witnesses who saw someone with a gun, were those witnesses students?
I don't know if they were students or residents of the city of New Haven or faculty or staff.
And did the anonymous caller give any indication as to why the person was wanted to do this?
No, I can tell you that the call was cut short by the caller. So they didn't provide more information than basically giving us the statement of what he claims was his roommate coming down. It was much more a statement than a report to police.
The area being searched, are we talking about dorms, classrooms, administrative offices, the whole?
The search area is certainly being dictated by the investigators who are obtaining information from witnesses. So,
But in that area, are we talking
Yep.
about everything?
One thing that should be understood is that Yale University, especially the old campus, is very entrenched in downtown. So what people report as being on campus very well may be some type of access street through the university. And the university, for the most part, is gated and alarmed. So it'd be very difficult for someone to get into that campus area, into the old campus area.
Can you
You
describe?
said that you're interviewing, that the PD is interviewing some witnesses that saw a person walk around with a long gun. Is there any indication of the identification or description of that person that these people saw?
Well, like I said, there hasn't been a specific description put out yet.
Dave, so the people actually getting into the dorms, you say that's difficult to do?
No, what I'm saying is with the university basically closed for the holidays right now, it would be very difficult for someone to enter into the dorm unless they had some means by doing it. You know, we don't suspect it's a burglary type issue.
So the caller didn't specify the caller said his roommate's going to campus with a long gun, but no specifics on just opening fire randomly or on a specific person.
There was nothing specific about the threat. And again, this isn't the suspect necessarily making the call. So this is a report from someone claiming to be a roommate who we don't know who that person is, and we don't know who the suspect is.
What was the demeanor of the caller? Was he frantic? Was it more matter of fact?
I listened to the call. It seemed to be more matter of fact and much more as a statement.
How long would you say the call was?
Just a few seconds.
And can you confirm again where that call was made?
The call came from a pay telephone on Columbus Avenue, the low 300 number block of Columbus Avenue.
Are you guys in a process at all of looking for any security cameras that may be in that area that may catch the person who made that call?
Absolutely. We have IT people working with the FBI, working with our department and other agencies, as well as the university, to identify, any, information that would be helpful from any video surveillance cameras, not just those on the university campus.
Dave, as far as the search, did you say before, are they searching dorm by dorm?
I don't have specific information on the searches because that's being, I'm sure, changed since this press conference began, based on information that investigators are getting.
What time did the call come in?
About 9:30. I don't have a specific time yet.
Did you say Yale's campus or just campus?
Yale.
And if you could just to recap, what are the elements here that make this most alarming and not less likely to be a threat than a hoax than an actual threat?
Well, we wouldn't comment on whether we believe it to be a hoax. If that was in anybody's mind at the beginning, it's certainly changed now based on witness statements. We wouldn't treat anything like a hoax.
So the actual sighting of somebody with a long gun changes the whole picture.
Absolutely.
Mr. Hartman, was it actually confirmed that somebody saw somebody with a long?
We have reports that someone was seen with a long gun, either on or near the campus.
Can you describe to me about what this long gun would be exactly?
I couldn't because it wasn't described to us more than that. So a long gun would be a rifle or a shotgun rather than a handgun.
How many witnesses reported seeing this?
I'm not certain.
But it's more than one.
I believe so.
And where exactly was this spotted, officer, with the wrong?
I don't know. I don't have that
Based
information.
on what you know now, do you believe it's reliable that there is somebody out there?
I couldn't answer to how reliable the information is. I'm not part of the investigation team.
So you got SWAT from neighboring towns, state police?
State police, our SWAT team was activated quickly. Yale University's SWAT team was activated quickly. And I know that there are people from the ATF task force as well down here. I'm not sure if it's an official SWAT team from their agency or FBI.
Are they headquartered here? Is FBI or secret?
We have an FBI office in New Haven, and most all federal agencies and law enforcement have offices here in New Haven as well.
Was the caller male?
The caller was a male. I can't give out a clothing description because there have been several that have been given out, and they don't necessarily match up. This investigation is in its infancy. This information is the best information I have at the moment, and I'm sure it's subject to change. So one of the things we'd like you to do also is so we can provide you with accurate, updated information. Anna Mariotti from the mayor's office is here. She's the PIO. She will also take all of your email addresses, including if you want individual email addresses for reporters and photojournalists here, and we will make sure that you get that sent to you directly rather than going through central agency emails.
There was a broadcast on campus, warning that there was a confirmed report of a person with a gun. Can you talk about that?
That's what we've been talking about the whole time.
No, but I mean, do you know what time that broadcast?
No, that would have been put out by the university, as universities across the country do whenever there is any incident, anything tangible as far as a threat of violence in and around a campus. The university sends out an email. The email goes out to faculty, staff, and students, and I'm sure that's what you're referring to, and that did go out as far as I know.
Also, were there any threats or concerns? I know there was a big day today with Newtown and the release of potentially they decided not to release 911 tapes and the report. Did you guys have anything that might have been cited of concern to you within this area?
If you're asking whether there was a heightened sense of need, a heightened sense that security would be needed in New Haven, no, nothing prior to that call.
I'm sorry, I arrived after you began. Would you be able to just recap the phone call? Did this person identify themselves? In
The
any
phone
way?
call was simply a male caller, stayed on the phone for just a few seconds to a 911 operator, and all he really said was that his roommate was on his way to the university, to Yale University, to shoot people,
And what time did that call come in?
about 9:30.
And then subsequently said perhaps more than one witness has reported seeing someone with a long gun on the campus.
Subsequently, perhaps, yes. That's a wonderful way of putting it. So I'm awaiting an update from our command staff. Again, this information is the first we've put out. I do apologize to the news agencies who were hung up on me before, but initially this was going to be handled by the university press office, and then it got thrown back our way. So if you'll allow me a few minutes, I'll answer any other questions, but then allow me a few minutes. I'm going to make some phone calls, see if I can get some updated information, and we'll start up right again.
Did they ask businesses to shut down? Some did.
Yes.
Some didn't, but, okay, right along Chapel, is that where they're all?
Right.
closed?
I believe the only businesses that have been affected are those on Chapel between College Street and High Street, although I'm not certain about the block further up towards York Street. For the local press, if you would please throw a ticker down there telling people to avoid the area. Traffic is a absolute nightmare, as one can imagine. So even if there's a resolution to this, we anticipate that streets will be closed for quite some time.
What's your name?
David Hartman, Hartman.
Are the businesses still shut?
I believe so, yes. I'll try and get all this updated information. I'm trying to retain as many of your questions as possible to ask my supervisors. Certainly closed on that block. Whether they're closed in other places, I'm not certain.
That's what the request of the police.
Yes.
Just to re-ask, the witnesses you've spoken to did also see the man with a long gun?
Those are the initial reports. I have to confirm these reports right now, and we'll see what if there's any update as far as witnesses and what they've forwarded to investigators.
I think 2 or more witnesses reported seeing someone with a long gun on campus.
We believe more than one.
Around what
York
time
Street or High Street?
High Street.
Around what time did the witnesses see?
I don't have the specific times witnesses were identified.
But you thought it was about an hour between that and the call, right?
Probably about an hour.
Later, the witnesses saw that later than the call, right?
Yes.
And the witnesses reported seeing.
The 911 call was made before there was anyone reporting that they'd seen someone on or near the campus with what appeared to be a gun.
When you say on or near the campus, do you have a specific street?
No, I don't. I say on or near again because the campus is so interwoven, you know, with the city.
Alleged sightings of this person with a long gun before or after the alert went out?
I don't know what time the alert went out. That would be a question for the university. I'm going to try and get representatives down here from the university and our command staff as well for the next presser.
I know you probably didn't interview, but did the witnesses say it appeared he had a gun, or
I don't know. I don't know.
Were those 2 911 calls? Were those 2 separate 911 calls?
I don't know that they were 911 calls.
How would they communicate the fact that
It's entirely possible that the witnesses were in and around the area when police arrived. I'm not certain of that either. I'm just not certain that they were calls made to 911.